against them that seems to be going on. What what does someone in your generation think about that?
I think that this divisiveness has always been there. I don't think this is necessarily a new thing. I think that the recent presidential election, I think that may have made it more clear. But I feel like there are definitely two different ideals in this country. You know, people want different things, and people are blinded by their own life perspectives. You know, you don't know anything besides the life you've lived. Me, as a white, cisgendered, straight woman in a middle-class family, I have a completely different perspective than someone who does not have all the privilege I have. And I think that a lot of people can't see past that lens. And you can't, you know, it's really hard to think outside your bubble. I recently I feel like I started thinking outside my bubble. And so I don't think this divisiveness is anything new. And I think that it's coming to a point where it's either going to be solved or something bigger is going to happen. I think that it's just coming to a head, I guess, I would say. I think that people in the United States come from different places and you're taught different things. One big example I think is that people are always taught that racism in the United States is gone, right? Like, we're the United States. But if you talk to a person of color, I would almost guarantee that they're going to say that that's not true. So it's just this divisiveness and this different perspectives lead to this divisiveness. And I think people really need to start thinking from other people's perspectives, and that your perspective might not be right. Because being a white man in this country is different than being a white woman. Being a white woman is different than being a black man. Everyone has different perspectives. Being a straight person is different than being gay. Being young is different than being old. There are so many factors involved. Being poor is different than being rich. Being middle class is different than being, and you know, there's so many things, and it's so hard to see over that horizon. It's so hard to see the way other people live. And I think it's really, really important to stop being stubborn and to start realizing that people have it differently. Not everyone in America is treated the same. I mean, and that's a fact. It's this statistical fact, and it's hard to say that. It's hard to say someone has, it's hard to say you have privilege. That's a really hard thing to say, and I think that because everyone has some form of privilege, and I think once people start recognizing their privilege, and recognizing people's lack of privilege, and people start using their privilege to help others without that privilege, I think that's when this divisiveness in this country is going to stop.